No place on Earth suffers more from malaria than sub-Saharan Africa. While people of all ages get the disease, it is most devastating to children. Over 1 million children die of malaria every year. Malaria is not caused by a virus like West Nile or yellow fever. It's caused by a microscopic animal, a parasite. The parasite enters the bloodstream with the bite of a mosquito and soon transforms itself so it can invade red blood cells.
This parasite that's living in the red blood cells is multiplying and bursting the red blood cells. And the child becomes very, very anemic. And that anemia can then lead to death. And the death can be very rapid. It can be within hours.
While malaria can be deadly for children, adults gain partial immunity through multiple infections. But still, they will have long bouts of sickness and fatigue.
If a father has malaria, he can't go out and work to bring home funds and food for the family. This is a disease of poverty, and it keeps people impoverished.
There are many medicines for sale, but here in Kenya, few of these remedies are worth buying.
There have been reports that as much as 30% of the drugs found in shops in Kenya are counterfeit. This is really a tragedy because mothers think they're doing the right thing, but the drug that they're getting may not help their child at all.
Judith Otiambo buys a well-known brand of the malaria drug commonly called SP for about 30 cents. But even if it's not counterfeit, it may not work. SP is the latest in a series of anti-malarial drugs that have been rendered nearly useless by the malaria parasite, which keeps evolving resistance to every one of these medicines.
It used to be that you could treat a case of malaria for pennies, but the drugs that are available, that are affordable, just don't work anymore.
With newer medications too expensive for poor people, and vaccines still in development, malaria remains one of the most intractable and deadly diseases in the world. But the situation is not completely hopeless, thanks to the behavior of nocturnal mosquitoes. They like to live in the thatch of people's huts, where they wait until nightfall. They come out to feed on sleeping people, a trait that has led to a simple way to combat malaria: bed nets treated with insecticide.
CDC did a study in an area with very, very intense malaria transmission. 130,000 people were provided bed nets. And sure enough, we saw that you could reduce transmission of the deadliest malaria by 90% just by keeping them under bed nets.
There's no reason that the world has to sit by and watch 1 million African children die from malaria each year. No reason at all. Most of those kids could be saved through a combination of sleeping under bed nets, of early case detection and treatment with first-line anti-malarials.
All of it requires financial resources beyond the means of malaria-impacted regions, but utterly, and I'll say it a third time, utterly within the means of the rich world. We'd hardly notice.